The United States government is still shut down, and millions of Americans, both here on U.S. soil and abroad, are concerned that this shutdown is going to continue for the foreseeable future. Some say this is only going to last maybe a week. Others say we could see this actually break the record and surpass 35 days. Now, I don't know where we're going, but just today we learned the Republican bill that they are voting for in the Senate is falling short again. They cannot pass this bill because they do not have enough votes. Right now, there's 53 Senate Republicans in the Senate. They need 60 votes, which means they need 7 Democrats to jump on board. Well, they haven't got there yet, and this is why it's a problem. Look at this. It says Trump readies layoffs and cuts as the Senate votes on government funding. President Trump has been very clear. If Democrats don't help Republicans open up the federal government, there are going to be layoffs. There are going to be mass firings as well. Right now, we have seen, hundreds of thousands of people have been furloughed for the past 3 days. That's concerning. But what experts are saying is this. Those families of the federal workers are going to be missing paychecks. When this happens, they will not be able to pay their bills. They will fall on hard times, can't put food on the table, and eventually they could default on their home payments. All the while, prices are still going up due to rising costs and tariffs, which is why it's a good idea to provide the American people with some form of a rebate check. Or, like President Trump just said last night, he's open to the idea, and his administration is considering it, sending a stimulus check between $1,000 and $2,000 to the American people. We don't know if this is going to be per person or per household, but again, $2,000, especially for low-income households, this would be huge. Experts go on to say the Trump administration needs to reconsider layoffs. But at this time, they are actually putting more pressure on Democrats, saying that we are going to lay off more people the longer this drags on. And I talked about this just yesterday, that it doesn't matter which political party were to hold the power in this negotiation. If there's a shutdown, the government has to figure out a way to, and it's called their contingency funding, they have to figure out a way to prolong the funding that they do have. Meaning, if they have to lay off and fire people, close down certain programs to ensure that the essential, only the essential programs stay open and available, then that's what they must do. Which is why some are saying this stimulus could be on hold simply because the Trump administration may need to use some of this funding. Okay? I don't know what's going to happen, but all I can tell you right now is Republicans and Democrats are going at it. But listen to this. This is from just today. The White House press secretary, she had to answer this question. Listen to the question, though. Look at this.
About thousands likely layoffs coming. Do you have an update on the timeline for that? How quickly? And if the government is restored to funding and back in operation, will that list of potential layoffs still be on the table?
Okay, that was the question. Now listen to her answer, because this is something that many people have been wondering, that the Trump administration is going to fire and lay off, okay, hundreds of people, thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands, we don't know. But would those people that are laid off, would they be recalled back to work, or is the government going to go very thin for a little while? Listen to this, though.
Look, as I just stated, the Office of Management and Budget is in constant communication and contact right now with our cabinet secretaries and agencies across the board to identify, unfortunately, where layoffs have to be made and where cuts have to happen. But again, the Democrats have an opportunity to prevent this if they vote to reopen the government. That is all this administration and the president is asking for. Vote for a clean continuing resolution to keep the government open.
Okay. So what she's saying is that these different cabinet positions, these different agencies, they're going to determine where they can make cuts. And I've been saying this for quite a while, that all they're trying to do is determine if these programs can stay up and running and be somewhat effective if we reduce the workforce. Okay? That's what they're doing. I want to show you a couple things though. Look at this right here, because this is something that is, well, has many people extremely scared. It says the White House freezes funds for Democratic states in a shutdown slap. I want to read you this. It says right here, U.S. President Donald Trump's administration on Wednesday froze $26 billion for Democratic-leaning states, following through on a threat to use the government shutdown to target Democratic priorities. It says the targeted programs include $18 billion in transit projects to New York. It says $8 billion for green energy projects in 16 Democratic-run states, including California and Illinois. And Vice President J.D. Vance, meanwhile, warned that the administration might extend its purge of federal workers if the shutdown lasts more than a few days. Keep in mind, the federal government just shut down 2 days ago. Okay, we're on day 3. The expectation is if this leads in to next week, if we show up on Monday and the federal government is still shut down, we could see even more layoffs, which again has a lot of people concerned. But I want to show you this one. Look at this right here. It says senior government officials privately warn against firing during shutdown. Now, what does this mean and why are they concerned about it? Well, look at this. It says senior federal officials have quietly counseled several agencies against firing employees while the government is shut down, as President Donald Trump has suggested he will, warning that the strategy may violate appropriations law, according to 2 people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive internal deliberations. Okay. Now, we are going to see a reduction in the workforce. Okay. That's just going to happen. We know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. But this senior official says that the Trump administration needs to be cautious. And it's not just because of the workers, but because Democrats are likely going to throw it in the Trump administration's face, saying that you did something illegal. Okay? You violated the appropriations law. As a result, we need, for one, we got to get all those people back, but it could lead to some other concerns as well. Now, here's the last thing I want to leave you with, because again, a lot of people are concerned and they're panicking as to what is going to happen moving forward. Well, here's what I can tell you. The Trump administration is looking at the whole picture. Everything from the debt as a country to the amount of money we're bringing in from tariff revenue to the illegal drugs coming into the United States from Venezuela or from wherever. They're also looking into the potential wars that could arise in the next couple of weeks or several months. And then on top of all this, we still have to deal with this issue between Hamas and Israel and Ukraine and Russia, and it's a lot. So right now they're saying, let's tackle these problems one at a time. Let's fix it. Let's move forward and then make sure we can build from there. So we'll see what's going to happen. But as of right now, the Trump administration, according to reports, is spinning because there's so much stuff happening all at once. But as we get more information on this, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get it. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.